Thousands of people gathered in several towns in Bosnia today to protest the arrest of Radovan Karadzic. The town's Bosnian Serb population says Karadzic's arrest is a form of persecution of Serbs by the West. Protesters turned out with photos of the former strongman. The towns along the Serbian border were Karadzic's wartime strongholds, and support for him there is strong. His arrest has sparked anger among Serbs in the former Yugoslavia, with many calling Karadzic a hero. Karadzic was captured on Monday after spending 13 years in hiding. He is expected to be extradited to The Hague next week to face charges of war crimes. Dennis Sandole is a professor at George Mason University's Institute for Conflict Analysis and Resolution. He joins us on the line from Washington now. Thanks for joining us, Professor. A lot of people are still in awe that Karadzic was able to elude authorities for so long. Now we're learning Serbian officials say it was a cell phone call that he made to a family member that was his fatal flaw, as they call it, but also they say he was so comfortable in this new assumed identity as this naturopathic doctor that he took a mistress, started giving public lectures. He was just too bold. Is that why he was caught, do you think?
No, I think that's probably a story that's being put out by the Serbian authorities to make it seem likely that it was a bit of good luck that came their way. I think it was basically Serb President Boris Tadic finally taking over the security services a few days before Radovan Karadzic's arrest that determined the fact that this mission would take place and that it would be a successful mission. Before Boris Tadic took control of the Secret Services, they were under the control of former Prime Minister Karadzic, a nationalist who, along with other nationalists, viewed Karadzic and General Ratko Mladic, who's still at large, as Serbian heroes.
So if it is the willingness of Serbia's pro-West government that led to him being given up, will we see others like Ratko Mladic then brought into The Hague? I
think so, and that's to be encouraged. I think everyone who really knew where Radovan Karadzic was at during the last 13 years also know where the former General Ratko Mladic, who has the blood on his hands of 8,000 to 10,000 Bosniak Muslims at Srebrenica, whose bodies are still being dug up. I think the fact that these two men have been living underground for so long, so successfully, speaks volumes about the complicity of Serbs in high places, particularly nationalist Serbs, particularly Serbs in the police, military and security forces in general, who've helped them lay low all this time. But I think Boris Tadic, who is very, very brave, who definitely wants Serbia to move into the future via Euro-Atlantic structures, particularly the European Union, is very, very keen on putting this horrible phase of Serb history behind him and the country. But he's very, very courageous in this regard because his very good friend Zoran Đinđić was assassinated for sending Milosevic to The Hague in 2003. So Tadic probably faces similar assassination threats.
So possible assassination, what else? I mean, obviously a lot of people are bracing for what they believe will be renewed, uprisings again.
Well, I think thus far those have been fairly mooted. I think considering that the Radical Party of Serbia, which is the Nationalist Party, has nearly half the seats in the Serb parliament, we're talking about a very careful balancing act here that Serb President Boris Tadic must, in fact, perform, and continue to do so successfully between the virulent nationalists amongst his constituents and those Serbs, particularly the younger ones, who are very much pro-EU and pro-West and want to get all this horrible business behind them because they're sick and tired of being viewed as pariah throughout most European countries.
Let me ask you about Karadzic again. Europe's most wanted man. He had, what, a $5 million price on his head, wanted for orchestrating one of the worst single atrocities since World War II, many say, the slaughter of as many as 8,000 people in Srebrenica. Yet there are those who protect him. Why and who was doing that?
Well, you've asked a $64,000 question, Canadian as well as American, Jacqueline. I think it's all about identity politics. This is a very abstract term to anyone but a psychologist, I guess, which is a field that Radovan Karadzic shares. Identity politics are all about people who identify with being members of a certain tribe, certain race, certain ethnic group, certain culture group. And when that tribe comes under attack, they tend to cloister oyster behind the wagon train and fight off the savages. And I think many Serbs feel that Serbia has been a victim for at least 600 years, ever since the Ottoman Turkish Muslim Empire conquered their stronghold at Kosovo on the 28th of June, 1389. And the fact that Kosovo has recently declared independence, whose main population is made up of Muslim Albanians, means for many Serbs that the Turks are still in the region. So for them, their victimhood is not only historical, it is now. And under those circumstances, I believe many people can actually behave barbarically in defending what they view as their national interest.
All right, Dennis Sandole with George Mason University. Appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline.